Greetings and welcome to another edition of Science Sunday. We're here in our capital city at the Connecticut Science Center, joined by Jace. Good morning.
Morning, Mark. How are you?
Doing well. We're talking electromagnetics today.
Yeah, I thought we'd take a look at a different type of magnet today. So an electromagnet is still a magnet, so it'll still make metals attach, but they're a little bit different because they use electricity, where the electro part comes from.
There you go.
So I do have one example of an electromagnet here, and there's three core parts to it. So we have a power source, our electricity. So today we're using batteries. In fact, I'll plug our last battery in so we can get this ready to go.
Okay.
They have a coil. So the coil is usually a type of metal. A lot of times it's copper, because copper is a really good conductor of electricity. So we can see all this copper wire just wrapped around. And then we have a core, which is a piece of metal that we kind of wrap around, keep everything stable, let the current flow, which we have a nice little chunk of iron here.
Okay.
So now that I plugged our last battery in, if you actually want to take that hook and stick it right on the bottom piece here,
Okay.
yeah, we get a magnet.
Yep. You want me to?
Yeah, let's see, there we go, yeah. And if I go ahead and actually take a battery out, if you go now, it's not a magnet anymore, we lost electricity.
Okay.
Now another way we can kind of like test things is we have this set up here. This is using this white part called a rheostat. Basically it's just going to help us with our current, with our electricity. So what I'm going to do is we have our coil.
Okay.
It's wrapped around a screw, which is our core in this situation. And then the rheostat is going to help the electricity flow. So we have our nice circuit. And what we can see is we can test like how strong our coils can be. So we can see I can pull this like almost all the way down to the bottom.
Exactly. Yep.
Using a screw completely wrapped in coil. But for example, if we want to do a little bit of a test here and try a smaller coil, we can do the exact same thing. So still core, coil, and then we'll attach our electricity, make that nice circuit. And we try a smaller coil now.
Oh,
We don't get a lot, barely any, just a couple numbers.
All right, so talk about real life uses in this realm.
Yeah, so electromagnets, a lot of times they can be as simple as things like doors that are magnetically locked. We'll use an electromagnet, so there's kind of like those like almost like black brick up top that the door sticks to. That's a magnet, and then when you press the button or like flip the switch, it'll break the current, so that way you can open or close the door. Other things like school bells, a lot of time will sometimes use electromagnets. So if you have a student in school, and that bell might just be an electromagnet going off when the
at a junkyard too, kind of moving.
yeah, junkyard crane's another really great example how they're picking up all the rubble, the trash, just using a magnet.
All right, very cool. Always neat hands-on things happening here at the Science Center. We want to let folks know about something happening this Tuesday. Very popular recurring event, Toddler Tuesday.
Yes, Toddler Tuesday will be back this upcoming Tuesday. It's a time for our little friends to come in, get to explore the Science Center, more of an area where we don't have as much like field trips or older kids running around, so it's only for ages 6 and under that can come in. And we'll usually run from about 9 to 1. And we'll have cool, appropriate hands-on activities running, as well as the Science Center and all the fabulous exhibits will also be open.
All right, you can learn more about it, of course, through ctsciencecenter.org. JC, thank you so much. And of course, we'll see you for another edition of Science Sunday next weekend.